Should we start?
Okay, let's go.
Yeah, should we start?
Vamos.
All right,
Yes.
we're getting started.
We're getting started. Thank you. Let's go. Okay.
Have I started the intro? This is always
You're
hard
doing
as well.
the opening.
Should I do the
Yeah,
opening?
you are. Ready?
Okay.
All right, ladies.
Okay.
Why is it
This is
so
funny.
weird? It's different than the last time.
No, I know. It feels a bit different, so.
Okay.
Hello, guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Say More podcast, episode 38, I think it is, 38. And today, obviously, we have a live audience, well, a lot of people today, and it's so weird looking at everyone. We've just trained everyone and everything like that, so thank you guys so much for coming. It means a lot to us, but yeah, how are you, babe? How are you?
Hi. I mean, I'm good.
Yeah?
I'm good. Yeah, it's good to have you here. It's good to have everyone. I think, my God, if we look back on when we first had the idea of the podcast, I was trying to recollect
Yeah.
when it first started. Why are we here? Why are we doing this to ourselves?
I know.
You know, I'm kidding.
Why are we doing
honestly,
this?
Honestly, I'm kidding. No, I'm super grateful. And I think that's how I want to open this podcast,
Mm-hmm.
to just be with so much gratitude and so thankful for the audience that we have right now, the amazing panel of ladies that are allowing us to do that.
Yeah.
And I still have no clue how we get that audience doing what we do, which is basically us catching up. But I'm so thankful for every single one of you. Most of you girls have took obviously their day off, a Saturday, precious Saturday out of their week, and traveled to come and see us and be with us today. So make sure you dig deep in the questions. We're ready for anything and everything. That's what we're here for. I'm already sweating, so like just break me a sweat. Break me a sweat.
Yeah, I know.
Anyone that brings the best question wins something, like
Yeah.
a hug.
We're gonna
A
do a
hug or like
prize.
a big like pump, fist pump.
Yeah,
So
we're gonna do a good prize. So, but how have you been?
I've been good. I mean, do you want to say that we're officially 7 weeks out from the Arnold?
Yeah, I know. I love to always remind you. I remind you, like, by the way, we're 10 weeks out.
You're good.
Happy
You're
10
good
weeks
with the
out.
numbers. You're good
Yeah.
with the numbers. I know you're super annoyed that it's not our 40th episode today.
It's so
let's
the last one was 20, so I was like, oh, we could try and make this one 40, like episode 40. It's like it's a numbers thing for me. I don't know why, but I'm like, it's fine. We're 38. It's all good.
We're gonna get closer now to like our 40th, because we're gonna start recording 2 episodes a week, you guys. So you
Yes.
guys are gonna be the first to hear about it. And you want to announce a big thing about
we've got
2024?
we've got a really fun, exciting announcement. Obviously, we were thinking about how we can bring more to you guys with the Same More podcast and stuff, and we'll officially be starting a Patreon. So you guys can connect with us more. You can get, first dibs on episodes. You'll get more episodes, more connections with us, like questions and stuff, and like basically just get more connections to us and like just get more. Basically, you can ask more, hear more, and everything like that. So yeah, that's our big news for 2024. We'll be starting a Patreon, giving you a lot more on that site and everything like that. So that will be live on the 18th of January, so next week,
Which is next week.
Yeah,
And there's already going to be 4 episodes on there
Yes.
when you sign up. So 4 episodes, and then we're going to be digging into the topics. So it's going to be more topic-based podcasts. We want to dig into like a period, like more specific stuff. And if you have any questions, more specific question, more digging deep into, and less of miscellaneous.
Yeah.
Even though like we love a good catch up between one another, but we just felt like, okay, how can we just go and give what our
People want to
girlies-
hear.
Yeah,
people want to
wanna
hear. Like dig deeper a little bit more, and also we can do like live Q&As and stuff on there as well, where we can kind of go live with you guys. So anyone's that sign up can obviously ask questions literally live on there, like whilst we're doing the podcast, and we can answer them straight away. So little things like that, we're going to try and give you more. You'll have more access to the events that we do. So like you'll have early access to tickets and stuff. So yeah, little things like that. We're going to try and hopefully give more to you guys. So that's the big announcement for 2024. Exciting stuff. So I can't wait.
How are you?
I'm good.
Yeah?
I mean, the travel here, like, was stressful. Like, it was about 10 hours from London, and then TSA in Miami, like, or passport control in Miami, 3 hours in a line. We were on low food, all that type of thing. So I was like standing in line for 3 hours, basically.
I honestly kind of want to get pissed at you because I did tell you to like never fly into Miami and always go to Fort Lauderdale.
I know.
And like I've traveled so much, I'm like, I don't know how you cannot take but it's okay. You experienced it.
You're like, I'm kind of glad you did that. Like, you deserve it.
You experienced it, but next time, please just fly into Fort Lauderdale. Anyone that flew in on Friday knows how chaotic that day was. But anyway, we're here. The weather is really nice and amazing.
Yeah, it's lovely. But now we're settled, and obviously, like, after this, I'll be then going to Vegas and stuff like that and finishing off the prep and stuff like that. So it's like, it's now kind of like, once this, seminar's done, another box checks and stuff like that. So that for me is like, okay, cool. Now we can fully focus on the prep and stuff like that. But yeah, it's exciting.
How is your 2024 going so far?
2020, one
like
word,
in one word. Give me one word, one sentence.
One is like right now, hectic. Like I feel it's like chaotic and hectic, but in the best way possible. Like I did a posing seminar obviously last week. We've got the same old podcast this week. Like then we're going into prep like following week, like as in like going to Vegas. So for me, it's been hectic because I travel a lot. So it's a lot sometimes, but I think I sat down the other day because my dad was like, are you okay? Like what, like, he just like, are you stressed? Like what's going on? I was like, there's just a lot going on. And he just literally said, just make sure you appreciate like what you do. Cause it's a lot what you do. Like you go to America a lot. You've got the podcast, you've got so much going on. Like, I know you're stressed, but just appreciate what you have. And it kind of made me just rethink and remember like, okay, yeah, like 2018 Phoebe would be absolutely like, oh my God, you're where you are right now. Like you're going to the Arnolds, like this is your third invite to the Arnolds, you're going to the Olympia again, you're trying to get another invite for the Olympia. Like you've got a podcast with your best friend, like little things like this, you would literally be like, oh my God, like I love this, I've made it. But in this moment, sometimes I forget that and I just stress. So I think I really, this past couple of weeks or past week, I've been like, just appreciate what you have. Even if you always strive for more, like you always want to strive for more, obviously, but also sit and appreciate and reflect on what you have. So that's what I've been really like doing, and I felt like it's really come out this week, which is nice. So
it's good. I'm glad. I feel like you're definitely present.
Yeah,
and
that's the word.
Yeah, I mean, for me, like 2024 right now, like I've entered this year. First of all, not treating it as like a new year, like a big thing.
Yeah.
I think sometimes when we like look into those big statement thing and like, unless it's like for motivation purposes, but like to make it a point to change everything in your life, it's like, no, like just, we talk about changing all the time, but what stays the same, and what, my word for me for the 2024 is what serves me, or doesn't serve me. And it has a lot to do with emotion wise, because I think every choices that you make comes down from an emotion, right? So like, let's say you've been feeling angry and you haven't like managed well your emotions that time, you made a decision. And I'm trying to be more present, and you can hear in the tone of my voice, like I'm trying like really hard, and it's like working consistently on keeping my frequency at a certain level and just like keeping that, because then I can be more present and less nervous and like kind of be aware of what's going on around me, and being able to see those beautiful faces and like feel their energy, feel their presence, like all these things like this is very important, instead of just going into the masses. Like, how we go into like bull mode all the time. It's like, let's bull this thing through. Like, let's just full,
beast mode all the time. Like go, like,
and just go through. And like, how people walk in New York like that, but like people are like that all the time, and it's like you're missing out on so many things. It's like driving fast on the fucking highway. Why am I dropping an F-bomb? That's also a thing that I don't want to do.
She did say that, so she was like, I want to swear less. She was like, I want to swear less.
Okay, first fail of 2024. It's okay.
But I love like when you said that, like 2024 for you is like what serves you. I love that, because if it doesn't give you what you're wanting, drop it. You don't need excess baggage. You don't need excess like other things around you just because you want to either people please or like just keep it just because. Like, do you know what I mean? So I love that. I
think it's about like embodying the person that you want in the future. And now like it's getting, I don't know, it's obviously age, but I don't think it's age. It's like maturity and like also experiences. But it's like, I want to be making decision as the mom that I don't even have kids yet, but I know eventually like I will. So everything that comes to me, I can either choose for the person that I am now without kids, or being the person that I'm manifesting in like couple years and make a decision for that person. And if you are able to do that, you're going to see life switches, and you're going to see a lot of things manifesting and coming at you and attracted to you without even like saying it, but just by embodying it and making those decisions, because you really do control whatever is around you. And it's really crazy if you're like being able to sit down into it. And, you know, I'm not one to meditate. I'm not there yet, but you can be in a state of meditation like consistently. I'm not a guru at this. Like, I just watch a lot of freaking podcasts, not our podcast, but I watch a lot of podcasts. But it's the truth. Like, you just sit into every single moment and try not to miss out. I think, you know, you have FOMO. Normally,
all the time.
There's the opposite of FOMO I saw last week was like the hope of missing out. It was like, that used to be me. I was like, I just hope to miss out on everything. And just like, you know, sometimes it's just overwhelming because you're like, having FOMO all the time is like, it's nerve wracking. Like, you go through that a lot with like your friendship, your social event and stuff. I'm like, the less I have, the better it is. And I remember I was young. I was that girl. I was like, as soon as I could start working at 12 years old, I was like, 24 hours, like 12-hour shift of Saturday and Sunday. Like, I would be alone by myself. My mom would be like, you don't want to go with your friends? I'm like, no,
it's fine. I can do what I want.
Yeah. So I don't live the FOMO. Like, I just hope for the FOMO, but now not really anymore. And I think there's just so much presence into it. And even you, like, fearing of missing out, you have so much fear inside your mind of like missing out that you actually miss out on things that you don't even know, but just like subconsciously.
I think definitely, like, in 2024, I definitely have, like, again, like I said, I want to appreciate the moments that I have. So like, there's a lot until even like, obviously now we've got the Arnold's coming up in the Arnold UK, then I'm going away like with my dad and Max and everyone, like the family and stuff. So for me, I was like, I've got all of this going on, and yes, I'm going to miss my friends and stuff, but I'm actually excited about the events that I have versus missing out on what I don't have. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's something that why I think of FOMO is because I'm thinking about the thing that I don't have in that moment and not focusing on the present. So it's like, oh, I wish I was, you know, at my friend's birthday because I've missed her birthday, but then I'm here prepping with, you know, with my boyfriend, and I'm in America, like being able to do this amazing opportunity that I've worked so fucking hard for. And I don't appreciate that because I'm looking at the thing I don't have. Do you know what I mean? So for me, definitely 2024 is working on that. And again, being like, appreciating what I have because, you know, we've worked so hard to get here. So I can feel it already, like a lot. Like, I looked at, you know, looking at stories and stuff like that, and I'm like, oh yeah, I miss you guys, but I am obviously missing them, don't get me wrong, but I'm missing them, but I'm also appreciating what I have, like a lot more than what I usually would, you know? So it feels good though. Feels good. How's actual prep going?
You want to die, like, you're very bodybuilding today. I'm like super about like meditation and stuff. No, girl, prep is prepping officially, but I'm like
literally prep is prepping, you know.
I mean, I love it. You know, I said on the last podcast that I was waiting for that moment of just like feeling like shit, being hungry, going to bed, like all these like.
That was me yesterday.
Yeah.
I was like we were packing, and obviously we were here for a while, like setting everything up and stuff. We didn't like leave here till like 9 o'clock. I got in bed and I was like, I am so tired. But then I've woken up and I'm like, okay, I'm fresh, ready to go.
Yeah, I think you and Max around like 6:30 yesterday, like both of you guys checked out.
Yeah,
and it's like it's so noticeable. You just like see them in their eyes. You see, it's like it was priceless.
It's robot mode because again, it's just you just got to do what you got to do when you're in prep and stuff like that. These events like honestly give me like so much of a high though, like after, and like appreciating, like seeing all of your faces like coming in and being like, oh, this is so cool. That's like those moments like where I feel tired, I'm like, that was so worth it. Like setting up the chairs and the lights and everything. So it makes it worth it. But prep is prepping.
Yeah.
Yes,
prep is prepping, but it's good, you know, we're in a good spot. I think a lot of everything that has been processed. Yeah. You know, and earlier than I thought it would, because I could have dragged that feeling of like, you know, having those feedbacks, and obviously the Olympia was like a deception a little bit. I'm saying deception just because I didn't win, right? That's the only real deception that we all have if we don't win, 100%. Right? So that's a real deception. But then when I got my feedback, so quick to process, girl, so quick to process. I was like able to see like also how great bikini is heading towards too. I think it's a lot clearer for a lot of, I think you feel it with your clients too. Like the girls are a lot more clear with what they're asking us to do. And for me to not be in that spotlight right now and being into that work mode and reaching mode again, it's changing my goals a lot. I mean, I think the last time we had a live podcast, I was like, I'm gonna do, you know, 1 Olympia and then 2 Arnold and then check out, you know, I'm retiring. But no, I'm gonna compete more this year. I'm gonna officially announce it on this podcast that no, I'm not. I told you yesterday. I dropped the bomb on you yesterday.
I was
but
like, you didn't tell me. You didn't tell me this.
No, but I will compete more. I will compete more. I want to be more present into the sport and like those seminars, traveling a bit more. Just managing. I think now that I am settled here and I do feel settled, because it's one thing to have a foot here and like have a house, but then until you have like a home and you're coming back home and you know you can like travel and have your people in your system and like your car, like all these little things that I didn't have for a long time, like I know it sounds silly, but now that I have a home and I'm like I have a foot down, it's like okay, now I can schedule things and it does make sense because I know what I'm going to be in 2 months. Like even planning like a live event like this
takes time.
I mean, for me, as soon as I know we were gonna be in prep, I wanted to go with brunch with y'all. Like I wanted to go with brunch, and then we hit prep, and then you know things change, and it's always stressful to do things and organize things with prep because you never know what you're gonna wake up to. Like, are you gonna wake up to a hangry Lauralie? Like, is Kim is gonna like put me on 2 hours of cardio the day before? But like, I mean, like you said, I think we're thriving off this presence, and I'm like, I'm so grateful. So, prep is like. Is there. It's obviously always there, but it's just something that I do. But I want to be here so much. So it's taking over.
Stop you from like that's something we've always spoken about. Like prep, we love prep, and obviously we focus on being an athlete, of course, but we don't want to stop everything. Like, don't get me wrong. We'll obviously, you know, mainly we'll choose our focuses and our priorities for competing, and like after this we're going to do our cardio, we're going to train together and make sure all of that's done, but we still want to be able to do these types of events and actually be present in moments like this, especially even on prep. So I feel like on prep it's a long time to be on prep and just be like doing nothing, you know, for me anyway.
I mean, we spoke about this yesterday a little bit when we were like packing the bags. It's like, how much do you need to suffer or like to commit to like down there? Like, I mean, once you're committed to do what you need to do and like check out the boxes, that's pretty much it. You know, do you need to like stay in your room locked in like, to be successful at bodybuilding? Like, I don't believe so. And we're like trying to see like past Olympia winners, and was like, when did they win? Like, was it when they were like really deep into bodybuilders, and like most of them have like lives around, like if you think about it, and
like people have other things going on, like everyone has other things going on, like not everyone can just be like, right, I'm going to shut off and do nothing for prep. I'm going to
I just don't think it's necessary either. Like that's where I'm going to. There's a power into detachment, and speaking from a girl who loves, like, I love to be so into something and almost like depending on like bodybuilding or like, you know, the feeling of accomplishment. Like I do depended on that for a very long time, because if I didn't have that feeling of accomplishment, I would not be a good, like, you would be an angry Lauralie, because if I didn't get my gym at the right time, if I didn't get my meal at the right time, like right away would just switch my mood off. I would be so off, and you could see she's off, you know? And I think now that I'm more detached in the best way possible, in order to like do what I need to do, but not more, no less. I can be a lot more realistic and rational with my goals that are like, Lauralie, you need to like bring down your legs. So like bring down your legs and do what you need to do.
I'm gonna control that. 100%.
And being detached and not be like, oh my God, like this that with my legs. Because there's a lot of girls that were wondering like, how is your mental going through having some kind of feedback? Because it's not common, and it's, you know, you put so much work into putting on muscle. And there's two sides of the story. There's that side of things where I could be like, I've put on so much work and I don't want to lose it. Then if I don't want to lose it really, then I just don't lose it and I become an influencer or whatever. I just go off the map. But I do still want to win, so I'm going to follow the feedback. I'm going to do what needs to be done. I'm going to show up until I'm able to be in that competitive like rank again. You know?
And it's just it's adjusting what you need to do. You're still doing what you need to do. You're still doing your cardio. You're still training, but you're adjusting what you need to do because of what they've said. Do you know what I mean? And that's all you need to do. And I think sometimes we can then put our pressure on ourselves and be like, oh, but I do it this way. So I want to continue to do it this way. But sometimes with bodybuilding, I mean, most of the time with bodybuilding, you can't always do that, like your way or the highway. It has to be, okay, let's change, adapt, and go from there. So it's super exciting though. And I'm excited to see like how we all look on stage in terms of like how we've improved from feedback from a couple of months ago, and then moving forwards, I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
It feels so far long ago. Do you feel like that too? Like we're talking, like and I feel like
7 weeks doesn't feel long, but I feel like it's been ages since the Olympia.
No, but since the Olympia, like it feels like
over 2 months.
But it feels like last year.
Yeah. Well, it was last year. It was last year. But last year wasn't that long ago. Like, it wasn't that long ago, but yeah, it was last year. So, but it's only like 8 weeks. Technically,
where?
It was beginning of November, away from Olympia.
Or in January. That's crazy. Yeah,
it's not that long. So, but that's exciting.
Ready for this season for sure.
Yeah, ready for the season, 100%. I mean, my prep's kind of going similar. You know, like it's not like I don't feel like we're in proper like beast mode, like focused in there yet. It's just been focusing on the events, going through things, and obviously prep has been prepping in between it. But I think once I get to Vegas, obviously on Monday, it will be just a case of locked in, and there's nothing else to think about. So I'm excited for that as well. Like you said before, like you were excited for the cuts, you're excited for those like hungry feels at the end of the day and stuff like that. I'm excited for that. Okay, like let's keep that routine like just going the whole time. Exact same routine, nothing in between is going to stop it. So I'm excited for that, like for the next like 7 weeks.
And be on the same time zone.
Oh yeah,
because I don't know how you deal with time zone. It's like
Dubai, then the UK, then this one, then Vegas. But it's fine. I'm used to it. You're always fine. Yeah, I know. I'm used to it by now, so I'm just like, it's fine.
Do you think you're ever going to get tired of traveling?
No. I love traveling. Like I love traveling and just experiencing like the world for what it is. I know it sounds really like, but I love it.
I mean, the fact that you say that after the trip that you just had. Like,
I know.
But I mean, terrible, but
that's
good.
I enjoyed it a lot. Like, but I want to experience as much as I can in my life. Like whether that's through competing or through like actual travel or whatever it is, I want to try and experience as much as I can within life. Like, and that doesn't mean like just being in one place for me. I want to like experience the world like more. Do you know what I mean? If I can, you know?
I mean, you can. You have a passport and you have an airplane. So like, and you have possibilities and opportunities. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah,
so
you're the one that choose your opportunity that you want. You know, you take that door. It's green light. You just go.
Yeah, that's how I see it. So, you ready for the questions?
So I have like so many notes, and you guys. I mean, even for a live podcast like that, I have so much high standard, like for both of us to bring you so much value. But at the end of the day, like we've been doing this commando like, for the longest time. And that's what brought you here. So today we're going to do the exact same thing that we normally do. So we're just going to take live question that don't like, bring it on. And then
don't hold back. Like just, we want to kind of like, again, this platform, we wanted to create this platform not for just knowledge purposes of how to grow glutes or how to train or whatever, but like improving yourselves as people. Like we wanted to try and give you that extra and like give you guys and like see how we are. Like we're all human, we all have the same emotions, we all have the same, we go through the same shit. Like we want to try and make sure we can connect that. We're not, obviously yes, we're pros and whatever, but we're same as you. We want to try and connect with you in a different way.
Phoebe, that was so beautiful. Because honestly, I don't even think like we started the podcast like having like, okay, this is what we want to bring onto the podcast. We never had that talk. No. But now that we've been doing it for like 38 episodes, like it's more clear that we want to stay in those boundaries, because as soon as we're going to like too much bodybuilding or like too much of like training, we're just like, okay, let's go back and like get away from like posing and stuff. Because especially those events, we want to like, I know Phoebe's like amazing in posing. I know I have like my posing clients too. We're like, okay, we should do like posing. We should do this and that. And at the end of the day, it's like, no, like we have a special audience for the podcast that we bring like our human side of things. And there's so much more to see, and we want to hear from you, and whatever we can bring to you, I mean, that's what we're here for.
Yeah, exactly. So, okay, so just put up your hands and whoever has a question, and then we're going to just pick anyone. So if anyone has any questions
for us.
Anyone. Don't be shy. Yes, I see one over there. Perfect.
So throughout our lives as women, I feel like sometimes we don't recognize when we're growing and maturing. when was that like aha moment that you were like, damn, like you look back and you're like, wow, like I've really like grown, like I've really come like a long way. Because I kind of just had that aha moment in my life, and I'm 29, so I want to know when you guys like felt that moment with bodybuilding, with life in general.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm curious because you opened a big door for me, but what was it for you? Like the aha moment, like, was it like, how did it look for you?
It was more in like my career.
Okay.
And how I moved up so fast, without looking back. And just hearing that recognition from my leaders and telling me like, wow, like you've come a far way. Or like from my parents, like, look at you, like look where you are right now. And like, I just didn't imagine my life being that way, like looking 5 years ago. So I guess I would say more like my career, kind of gave me that like moment, that aha.
I love that. I do love this question as well, to be fair. What was...
Go ahead.
I'm trying to think. When you were talking, I was like, what was mine? I mean, for me, in terms of career, competitive career and all that type of thing, like, I think that aside, in terms of just life itself, and this is gonna get a bit deep, but it's okay. For me, my aha moment was when I like really grew was, if you guys don't know, my mum passed away when I was like 20 years old, like quite a while ago. And for me, entering every single year was a fucking mess. Like I'd always, like December 31st was always shit. I didn't want to like, spend time. I didn't want to do anything because I didn't want to enter another year without her. Like that's how my mindset always was. And it was really hard for me to get past that. And like, weirdly, like I think this year, generally, like when you were thinking about that, I think this was the first time where I felt I was really happy going into the new year because I was so happy career-wise, I was so happy relationship-wise, I was happy with a lot of external stuff. And it's not, I spoke to my sister about this the other day because I felt bad because I said, it's not like I forgot her, but I felt happy to move on without her, but knowing that she's always looking down, whatever, but I was happy with what we'd accomplished. It wasn't like, oh, like I feel sad or anything like that. I was like, God, I feel really happy in this moment. And it was really nice. Like we went to our friend's house and stuff like that. And like, it was proper low key. We were just playing like a bunch of games on New Year's. It was really nice. Like, and we set off fireworks and stuff. And I was so happy. Whereas sometimes I would be like, I just feel shit. The next day I feel shit. I don't feel great going into the new year. I think for me, generally, my aha moment like was generally like January 1st or like December 31st, where I was like, I feel so good. Like, and I feel so good going into 2024 with all the like achievements, opportunities that we have in front of us. And I've never been able to appreciate that before, like massively. So for me, I think that was like last year, like the beginning of the last year. So that was very deep, but that was the first thing that came into my head like straight away.
Well, girl, you opened Phoebe up like I've been waiting for this for like 38 fucking episodes. Like
she's always like, so what are you really feeling? And I'm like, I don't know, but
everything come in time.
And it takes a while. Like she passed 8 years ago. It was a long time ago. And there's still moments where I feel like, obviously I miss her, of course, like we're always going to miss someone that's not there, but I think I was so happy with like what we kind of went through like in 2023. I did so much like with my competitive career, I did so much with my competing career.
Everything.
I made so many friends, I traveled loads.
Personal,
I was so happy with it. And I felt okay being like, I'm happy going into a new year versus being like, I feel either guilty going into a new year without her or feeling guilty of being happy without her, if that makes sense. So yeah, for me, that was definitely my aha moment. It was like this year where I felt just so like content,
Aww.
So
that's beautiful. It's like seeing every decision that you've made, because you've made big decisions in the past, like moving to Dubai, like in the business, everything was at the same time.
And
but
for me, that was all guilt still.
Yes, because you couldn't see the fruition, like the fruit. I hate that word. Fruition?
That's
like the actual result of it. Mm-hmm. So you were like hustling, grinding without getting the result, like the proof of like
the result behind it.
Yeah, but then like you have a shitload of proof. And I feel like if it wasn't like that, you're probably so aligned right now that you're like, I'm just good. I'm good and it feels good. Yeah.
That's why I said like 2024, I just wanted to make sure I appreciated more, because as much as I do so much, I generally don't appreciate what I have. I'm always like, okay, next thing. It's always, okay, next event, or okay, next show. next whatever. Like, so I really wanted to make sure like this year, and even that I started at the end of last year, I was like, I want to appreciate what I fucking have, because I work so hard and we've all worked so hard to be where we are, and sometimes it's so easy just to be like, next thing, not appreciate it. Oh, because it's not the same as this person's thing that's bigger, I'm like, mine isn't as significant, if that makes sense. So
Do you feel like you're still comparing yourself to like
no,
people,
not anymore.
though?
I think generally last year I caught myself at the beginning of the year, especially with the Arnolds, where I didn't do the Arnolds last year. I started to compare my life to a lot of other people's. I was like, why can't I like compete like they do all the time, or do this? And I caught myself doing it, and I was like, you need to stop this, because you're not gonna get to where you need to be with this mindset if you keep comparing what are they going through, what they have, what you don't. Again, that, you know, going back to what I was like before, like looking at what I don't have, or looking at what I don't have and not appreciating what I have. You know, like I had so much, even though I didn't do the Arnolds last year, I had so much to still like give, but I was like, oh, because I didn't do that, like that's so bad.
Yeah, without even like, you give just by being Phoebe, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And I think that's like your superpower. That's the superpower in every one of you, is just being you and like your individual person. And it's like, it's such a weird time. Like we talked about, I send you a podcast on like modern woman, but it's weird because now it's even like with trauma. It's like, oh, your trauma is so much bigger than mine, so you have that, and I kind of want to like, I want to have your trauma, so that way like I can like
Understand.
speak on the same like level and just like as attractive as you are with your
Yeah.
trauma. It's like, it's such a weird time to be alive. Like I just feel that people, if they just like are grateful, it's like not enough.
Yeah.
It's like you need to be so deep or so dark or so much light. Like
Yeah.
you can't be just like a
In between
and like going through wave. And I think my aha moment, there's been, I'm looking back, there's been so many, girl. I was like, oh yeah, I'm so grown. Like, oh my God, I'm so mature. Girl, 6 months ago, you'd be like, girl, like I think you have a lot of like things to grow on. And life keeps throwing things at me. And I'm just like, okay. And they're just, and I can understand. I understand why I didn't win the Olympia. Like I make like understandings of what my life is, like what things happen to me, happens for me. But then to make that transition to understand what I'm saying when I say that, things happen for me and not to me. The 2 to the 4, that is a process that I need to like sit down and journals for like hours, and maybe on some days. And some days I have bad days and I still go back to, no, it happened to me. And I go back into that victim mentality. It's so easy to go back to those habits, because sometimes it's very like not understandable. But if you just go into that transition of like everything but it can just happen. You can't just like look at yourself in the mirror like, no, it happened for me. This fucking shit happened to me. Happened for me. Like, no, like you need to like be really at peace with it and kind of like navigate through it. And there's gonna be things like I was gonna talk with Phoebe. I'm like, oh, that's why. And then it just adds to like my 4. I'm gonna talk to, my God, my Kim, I'm gonna cross the street with another woman. It's like, that's what it's happening for me. That's why it's been happening for me and not to me, you know? So I have many. I can tell you, 17 years old, this happened, you know? It's like when I made the first decision for myself, the first time I didn't feel guilty saying no, that was huge. But is it a haha moment? I don't think I'm gonna have it until maybe like I'm very, very old. Like, and maybe my aha moment's gonna be like, that was a hell of a life, bro. Yeah.
That's the aha moment. It's just life in general.
Life in general.
Literally looking back.
Yeah, because I wouldn't want to stop. Like, I think living is part of having things thrown at you. And
Oh God, yeah.
I could take a little less, to be honest. I'm a little like
I'm a little
over
beat
it.
up now.
I'm a little. I'm getting old for this shit. No, but like I said, like I'm more settled now. You know, I think people have seen. I mean, I've been on social media for a while. I've been as very transparent, and I think you guys can see throughout the channel. Like I've grown. Like obviously, like 10 years into doing what I do, like bodybuilding lifestyle, chasing to be the one. You know. And it comes down to like my childhood, and then I understand why I'm in the sport, and I understand why I got so like savage. I understand like the self-sabotage like thingy, and I think that's a lot of things that I want to go in depth with you, because I feel like now I can talk about it more because I've done hypnotherapy, the therapy, I made mistakes. Like, girls, I don't even watch my videos in the past. I'm like, I can't. It makes me so cringe because I feel like she's a complete stranger to me. Like, she's literally a complete stranger to me. I think that's also okay.
Yeah.
Because, like, there's nothing, it would be silly to say someone like, oh, you should just stay the same.
Yeah.
Like, you wouldn't be here if I would have stayed the same that I was like 8 years ago.
No.
You wouldn't. Not because I was a bad person. I was cool, but I had like, what I had to talk about. Like, I just won my 3 first pro, like, and I'm having a 9 to 5, like, there was nothing else to talk about at that time, which that time was fine. It attracted me a certain crowd. But now, with like the ups and downs and all the shit.
It just gives you personality. It
builds you, like your character,
exactly
like it
that.
builds you, like, and nothing builds you more than bodybuilding, because you're alone with your starvation, you're alone with doing cardio, you're alone, and it can feel very, very lonely at some point, but not in a negative way.
No, in a good way where you can self-reflect on a lot of stuff.
There's so much you can do on a silent session of cardio, girls, and sometimes I have my headphones and I do silent cardio and people like call me psychotic, but just try and be present in the moment. Like, we always have stuff going on. Like, you go on a drive, you put the podcast on, like you're cooking, you have a podcast on. Like, sometimes just listen to nothing and drive. 2 hands on the steering wheel. It's like, I haven't done 2 hands on the steering wheel in a long time. I was always driving like this. My mom was like, no, but, and you just are there.
And that's it.
And sometimes, like, it's almost, it gives you the, like, almost the ick. Like, it's just, not the ick, but like the feeling, you know? Like, you get a feel of, like, almost anxiety of doing nothing. And it's like, no, I should be doing something.
I need to do something. I need to be being productive, and I need to be, you know, always leveling up my business, always, like, you know, competing more. Like, there's always more. Just to do less a little bit. Sometimes.
No, just like, but less is more present.
Yeah.
And even if you feel uncomfortable most of the time, like, sitting into that silent, which at first is going to be uncomfortable, and then you're going to start thinking, and you're going to have, oh my God, I wouldn't have thought that, or I wouldn't have reflected on that if I didn't have that moment of silence. So there's a lot in silence, I think,
100%.
that people are missing out.
Yeah. Very good question.
But, very good question.
We dived into that a little bit, but that was really good. Really good question. Okay, next question. Yes.
I guess this is kind of like piggybacking off of that one, but do you feel like you've found like your purpose in life, or how did you realize, like, or when, if you did, like, okay, this is what I meant to do, like, this is what I want to do for, like, not the rest of your life.
Yeah.
But, like, how did you figure out what your purpose was?
Can we all go to brunch, like, when we're done competing?
I know. That's why we wanted to take you all to brunch, because we wanted to get to know everyone, like, more. And I'm like, damn, we're in prep. Damn it. But, I mean... Purpose in life.
Purpose.
I mean...
It's a big word. I don't even know what that means. Like, if I look at it.
For me, my
passion, like...
Yeah. For me, my purpose in life isn't bodybuilding. Like, it's not. Like, it's not, my purpose in life isn't just to bodybuild. I know that. My purpose in life, like, I think we discussed this on the live podcast before. Like, do you feel like you know what you, like, get from life, for example? Like, what was your purpose? I feel like my...
Okay, purpose is this, okay?
She's getting the actual definition up.
Purpose, the reason for which something is done or created, or for which something exists.
Ooh, love that.
Have you found your purpose in life?
Have you found your purpose in life?
It's 11/11, by the way.
11/11. Happy 11/11. I know my purpose in life isn't bodybuilding. It's what bodybuilding is, like, bringing to me and making, like, how it's building me up. I know that. Like, I'm not on this earth just to bodybuild and just be an athlete. I know I'm not. Like, I'm that's just not who I am anyway.
Yeah.
And that's what I feel.
It's something you do.
It's something I do, and I like the person it's bringing me, like, creating me to be, or building me up to be. I think, I mean, my purpose in life, I feel like I'm 28. I don't think I found my purpose in life as such yet, and I don't think people sometimes know the purpose, what life needs to be, like, straight away. Sometimes people do. Some people will be, okay, this is what I'm going to be in my career. This is what I need to do, like, and this is what I want to be and create and whatever. Some people just know. I don't, and I'm okay with that. I like just letting life roll and do what it needs to do. And I'm an athlete, you know, at the moment, and I also do a podcast with my best friend, which can also, like, you know, give a lot of knowledge to other women. And I'm a posing coach, and those are serving me at the moment. They might not serve me in 10 years, but I'm also okay with not knowing that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, preach.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, for sure.
Because I feel like sometimes when I navigate life like so much, where I'm like, right, in the next 10 years, I'm going to be this. Obviously, it's good to have goals and say, you know, I want to achieve this by this point. But at the same time, like being like so adamant on like, okay, I'm definitely, like, I remember being like 19 and being like, I'm going to have a house by the time I'm 23. Like, that didn't happen, but I'm not like dying about it.
Like, why are we raised to like play God? Like, because that's honestly what they're asking from us. It's like, okay, have these goals in your life and do this. Like, God just asked us to exist. Like, that's all you actually need to do, and your purpose will direct you in your life. So, I mean,
what is your purpose in life?
No, I mean,
have
it's
you found
not,
yours?
my purpose in life is to exist and go through my experience, and like, because otherwise, my purpose in life is obviously, there's things I want to do, I want to accomplish, right? It's accomplishment, but don't mix purpose and accomplishment. I think your purpose is to exist fully, meaning like going through the trenches, going through your challenges, going through emotions and feelings and loss and grief and happiness and
All of it,
a lot, to be able to, if God give you the want to have kids or a family, to then share that with them, or like to have a best friend that can help. And there's always the good and the villain in the story. You're a villain in someone's story because of what you've been through, and that's never going to be in your control. You're going to be the hero in someone's story because it's never in your control. But at first you need to exist fully and plainly. And I think even people that are so goal driven, they're missing out on existing sometimes. And then what was really your purpose? Like, so that's my answer.
Yeah, that was good. I like that a lot. And it's true. It's very true. Like, it's hard. Like, again, it goes back to what we were talking about
because
before.
like, I mean, like, you know what answer you want. You want me to say like, I really want to help the ladies to like build self-confidence in them. Obviously, yeah. Like my biggest wish with, like, let's say the program that I just launched, okay? The challenge. I love that because my goal is to have ladies like being able to not depend on a training program and actually make thoughts for themselves. When they go inside the gym, people were like, Lauralie, how can you be so confident? I'm like, because I know what I'm doing. That's all it is, babe. That's all it was. But it took me, 6 months, being in that little like woman's room, like practicing those movements, to then take the big step into the big room and be like, okay, let me try those movements into the big room and just let my ego drop, because who cares? Then that was my first aha moment. I can go to the big room. And then now, 10 years later, when like 5 years ago, people were like, Lauralie, you need to launch your program. You won your pro card. You went to the Olympia. I waited that long. You know why? Because I wouldn't have the same message. And now I can serve a better purpose now, but everything is in timing. And now I have a community of like 900 women that by the end of this challenge, after 10 weeks, I hope they know intentionality, they know intensity, they know their power, which is being themselves. They know how to think for themselves. And that's going to be through a challenge. Could I have done other avenues? I would have to like change my entire life. Like, I've literally done 10 years of my life doing bodybuilding that lead me to like want to do that and share that. So I'm not going to sit here and be like, I want to raise confidence into women. I want to, but is that like, I don't want to say, is it that my sole purpose in life? It's one of them, for sure, but I didn't know that 10 years ago. So now I'm not gonna start having a certain purpose. It's gonna keep me, like, obviously that keeps me aligned right now. I'm aligned with creating confidence into women. So I'm not gonna get OnlyFans for that reason. I'm gonna stay within that purpose of like, I don't feel like women needs to be sexualized in order to, I have nothing against OnlyFans. There's like power freaking moves over here. Like OnlyFans have saved family from like poverty, like a whole family for real. But for me, I stay aligned with that purpose of creating confidence into women through the channel that I want women to create confidence with. And it's just basically knowing themselves and understanding that like you could have a missing kneecap and still be a freaking superhero. Like I'm not special. I'm really not special. I'm just showing up every day with the capability that I have that day. And I'm just that. That's all I am. Yeah.
Yeah, that was good. That was a good answer. Good answer. Okay, so yeah, that was our answer for the purpose question. Any other questions? Yes, you go. Yeah.
Is there any experience or hobby that you guys have always wanted to try or want to try in the future besides bodybuilding?
That's such a cool question. I think about food immediately. I don't know if it's because I'm hungry.
Literally, I was like, where do I want to go eat? Like, what country do I want to go, like, try the food? That Peruvian place that you always order from, well, not you, but like Aldo always orders from, that's one place I want to order from. But, I mean, something that I want to do.
A hobby.
A hobby. Or experience.
Oh, experience.
Ooh.
You don't know?
I don't know.
Girl, what?
Yeah, no, I'm like, do you know?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you go.
Like
bungee jumping. Bungee jumping.
I'm like,
yeah.
I have so much to say. Skydiving, like dangerous stuff that I can do, like dangerous stuff that I can do. Like I want to go back to rollerblading for a while. I want to go skiing. I want to go down a helicopter, like drop me off, and you just ski off.
Adrenaline junkie. I didn't know you were an adrenaline junkie.
I'm not really. I just want to do stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I don't, and like stuff that I can't do right now. I don't know. And then eat all kind of food, like get lost in Thailand, like in a country that I can't speak the language, like, or Asia. I don't know why Thailand came to mind. I don't know why.
You said Bali last time as well.
I said Bali, like, yeah, but traveling is such a like sucky answer. I want to like.
Yeah, you're like.
I want to get
really
lost. I want to get lost. I want to like not have my phone and just get lost. Like, what about getting lost? We're so oriented all the time. It's this and that. Like, I want to get lost. I want to freaking get lost.
Just drop off the map.
No, for real though.
Yeah.
Like, could you? Like, that would probably.
I could easily drop off the map.
Are you?
Yeah.
I don't believe it a second though.
I think if I got
organized, it'd be like, okay, I'm gonna get lost from like 8 to 5.
I was just
Monday to Friday.
I was just about to say that.
With a break in between. That would be you.
I was just about to say it as well. I was like, if I get my shit organized, then I'll and you just took the words out of my mouth. So yeah, I'd be organized dropping off the map, but I'd drop off the map easily. Well, we're going to Ghana, Accra in April for my dad and stuff. So I'm really excited for that. And we've been hearing like about loads of stuff and stuff. And don't get me wrong, the internet's good, but they have blackouts and stuff a lot of the time. So I might drop off the map like when I'm out there for a few days anyway, just to kind of again be with family and stuff like that. So
I wish you that, babe. I wish you that.
So I think I definitely will. I think definitely try and be like, well, I'll obviously get everything in order, make sure everything's like settled, but I'll definitely be having downtime like in that moment in time, so I can just switch off, because I never switch off. And I think that's an experience, like again, like you were saying, like an experience, like I think we're always switched on and doing stuff. So I'm like, I want to get lost. I want to stop doing things sometimes and not have to worry about like, oh, this is going on in the back of my brain, this light's turning on, like I need to do this now. So
because anyone that does bodybuilding knows by like the first time that you eat your first meal on your first diet, by now you don't see your plate the same. You see carbs, you see protein, you see fats. Now I go with my parents, we've ate the same breakfast for years. I see double carbs. I'm like, you guys, you want me make some eggs, please? Can I make you guys some eggs or like protein? Like turkey bacon? I don't know. Like you guys. No, we're just gonna have our oatmeal. My dad does like oatmeal and peanut butter toast with banana, which is like amazing. But I'm like double carbs. Yeah. So like switching off, like you need to be actively, because I can be switched off all day, eat whatever I want, but I still know what I've put inside my tummy is like potato and rice, which Peruvian food is amazing, but there's potato and rice in the same plate with protein and sauce. And like, yeah, it's good though. But yeah, switching off is like, you need to be actively switching off. It's like a actual work to switch off, which is crazy to think.
I know, you're like,
'Cause
I can just switch off, it's fine.
We've been switched off. I mean, I was eating Kraft dinner like, no, you guys don't call it Kraft dinner, you call it mac and cheese.
Kraft dinner. Excuse
don't
me,
know-
wait, what?
The mac and cheese in the box. You guys, Kraft mac and cheese.
That's the one. Kraft, mac and cheese.
Yeah, I was eating like that once a day, and then I think my breakfast was like a chocolate chip cookie. For real. For a very
Really?
long time. Yeah, for a very long time. And I mean, I haven't ate that diet in a long time too.
Yeah. Well,
So-
I mean, it's the thing is,
I would need to like force myself, it's like an active work to do it.
Oh my god, yeah. But
Yeah, to
I think
switch off.
actively switching off is something that, again, we all need to just experience sometimes in this day and age, because it's easy to just be like we said, going back to before, just doing so much stuff and just doing less sometimes is just something that we just all need to experience.
I mean, it honestly starts with just you, like not watching or listening to podcasts while you're driving, or like always have something going on. Like start small. I'm talking about getting lost, but like start small, but like getting lost into like your 5-minute commute. Like you don't need a podcast.
Yeah.
You don't need a podcast.
Yeah.
I mean, I love you girls. I like obviously listen to
so
our
listen to
podcast, but then after that, just like tune it off. But no, it's like it's a good.
Yeah.
So a hobby. That was the question.
I mean, a hobby,
Or experience.
experience just switching off. A hobby, I wanted to try, we were talking about skiing earlier. I actually have never been skiing.
Yeah, it's a sport though. I don't think it's a hobby. Like, it could be a hobby, like a little like stroll.
Just a little stroll. But I would have, that's an experience I want to probably try, because I've never tried it before. So I want to try it. Just something like that. For sure. Skiing. That's probably
I think probably like racing cars or some shit. Yeah.
Racing cars.
Yeah.
That's very random.
I'm like going back to like what my inner child wanted, and like I remember every Sunday, my dad, we would like do like laundry, and we're 5 in our family, so we'll have like ton of laundry, and just have this big like living room with the carpet.
Yeah.
And we just like sit down with my dad. I was like very young. It's a very old memory right now that I recollect, and we were watching the F1 Formula One on the TV. Our old like big ass TV, and now I'm just thinking about all my inner child stuff. It's so funny, and I'm like, I would like probably go on F1 like as a hobby and just like do like racing car. I know it's like super expensive, but, I would probably do that. Or what else? We made like gingerbread houses, little craft thingy. It's funny because my mom has been looking for a hobby for a very long time, and she's retired now, and they're living their best life of being like active and stuff.
Watching your family, your parents, what they do. Like, they just travel around the world. They retire. They just do what they want. I'm like, that's goals. Like in life, that's what I want to become, is your parents. Going around and traveling, just doing what they want.
Yeah, I mean, you and Max are pretty like good started on that. To be honest,
we're pretty much doing that up. It's fun. But that was a good question. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's a good
question. Next question. Anyone else?
To my therapist.
We love this already.
So I'm in the middle of like making a really big life decision, and it's not too late to like retract it or like go with it, and I'm like freaking out right now. And I've done this before, but this one is just like this scenario is a lot harder to deal with. But anyways, I'm wondering if you guys have any advice for me.
What makes you freak out though? Because you said
Well, because this time I'm like letting go of a lot more things. Like I'm gonna be starting over and like completely, I don't know, just
clean slate.
Yeah, clean slate. So I'm like, and I've done this before, but like I said, this one's just a little bit harder.
Do you feel like there's more to lose with this? As in, like, this decision, you feel like you could potentially be losing more, and that's why you feel more like scared potentially?
Definitely more than like what I've experienced in the past, but I mean, I can't say that I feel like I'll be gaining a lot more going through with it, but what I'm letting go of is also really important to me too. So
Yeah.
I don't know if that
And do you think? I mean, because I would ask you so many questions right now, but one, I'm not a therapist, but I really want to be that person for you. Like, but I think there's a reason why this opportunity came through you and to your door, and I think what you're holding on to, you're gonna create so much resentment, girl. Because then if you end up losing it for whatever reason, like life just happens. Like, I don't know if you're talking about losing friends or like losing a house or losing like a environment, or I mean, if distance and a life decision that would serve you does that, so be it. I would be like, tomorrow I'm doing it because I want to know if this is going to hang.
Yeah.
Is this going to hang? That's the test. You really want to, like, that's what you really want to go through and test it out. I wouldn't be fearful, but I've seen both sides, you know. I think, you know, when you're young, like, your parents have like job opportunities and you're like, oh, I had like, my dad had a job opportunity to go to Arizona, my mom to Toronto. I was like 5 years old, I was like, yes, yes, yes. Then 12 years old, yes, 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 like ready to go. My brothers would cry tears. Our friends, our school, I was like, I just want to go. Like, we got like, because it's always going to find you. Like, what needs to be with you is always going to find you. And that opportunity is there for you. And if you're resisting that, and then something doesn't happen, bro,
That's
the
gonna suck.
resentment, no, don't do that to yourself. Yeah.
I think it could come down to just fear of change as well. Like, obviously, I know you said this before, but this one's more significant, right? So like, there's more change happening and more evolving potentially. So like, potentially that's why you're like, I feel like I shouldn't do it because there's a lot to let go of. That's like, it could be excess baggage potentially, but it also could just be a case of change. Like, I'm scared to change. I'm scared to see if it's like it's a bad thing that if I change. It's not. Like, we're supposed to grow. We're supposed to change. We're supposed to evolve all the time. So I think, when we moved, we did not like plan to move to Dubai ever. Like, it just happened. Like, we never even had the discussion to say, yeah, let's pick up our bags and go to Dubai. It was one time I surprised Max with the flights for his birthday, and I said, let's go to Dubai. We loved it. I've been to Dubai once. I actually hated it. I didn't like it. Like, I went back in 2019, and I was like, pretentious. Don't like this. Like, this country is a bit like, it's okay, but it's not me. We went, and I was like, now I love it even more, and I actually want to stay. And we just decided to. Like, I wasn't ready to do that in 2019, but I was at the end of 2020. And like, if I'd maybe done it obviously in 2019, it might be a completely different scenario now. So it's like, when the opportunity comes up, like, about to pick up and go or do that thing, like, I think sometimes you just have to fucking like, just do it. Like, get the balls to just do it. And if it doesn't work out, you can like go back to things. I think that's also what people are scared of. Like, if this thing doesn't work out, fuck, I've got to go back and start again. Who cares? You can rebuild your life and start again, like, easy if you need to. It's work, obviously, don't get me wrong, but the experiences that you'll go through from doing that as well will create such an amazing person. Like, do you know what I mean? So I think it's so scary changing. It's so scary, like, because you're used to this environment, what you've got right now. You're like, okay, cool. Like, I don't know what the scenario is, and obviously I'm not going to ask you there, but you've got this life. It feels good, but there's also something good, but it also could be not bad, but different. I don't know what to do. Just see what happens. And if it's not for you, it's not for you. You can always go back. You can always do things differently. You can always adapt and be better at life, you know? So I think go for it. Whatever it is, I don't know what it is, but
yeah, good luck. I mean, good luck with that, because I know
100%. And obviously, you know, it's always scary, but scary isn't a bad thing. It's not. It's good to be scared because you care about like what's going to happen with your life moving forwards, and it's nerve-wracking, yeah, but it shows you care.
Yeah.
So,
and it needs to be tested, you know.
Yeah.
Like, even though everything feels good right now, but there's a reason why you're so, like, you really want to see that happening for you, and then what you're scared of losing, like I said, I would just test it out. Test it, yeah.
see what happens.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like that question a lot. Okay, next question. Anyone else? Here at the front.
I just want to say I really admire your friendship and your bond. Like, this podcast got me through my entire first prep. I was so like motivated and inspired because like I just competed for the first time in December, and like it kind of just came at me. Like, I didn't have anyone else around me that was like also in the sport.
Mm-hmm.
So just like watching you two, like the bond that you have, and you know everything that you created together. And being in a sport too that's like solo, but it's like, you know, it's also you against you, but like you're against each other on the same stage. Like, when did you guys know, like, yeah, it's us?
It's for real.
It's for real.
It's for real.
There's been a lot of scenarios, so many different scenarios. We went through this like last event and stuff as well, and I think
We did.
Yeah, there's a lot of scenarios I think you go through like in friendships where you kind of like okay, yeah, that's my ride or die, or like that's my girl. Like she showed up when I needed to, not when like. Sometimes it's not even when I want her to. She's just there. Do you know what I mean? Like there's some times where you tell me things and I'm like, I didn't want to hear that, but I also needed to. You know, and that's a ride or die. You know, like that's someone who's going to tell you like, sort your shit out, or do this differently, or do you know what? I actually don't agree with you in this scenario. Okay, cool. Like, you know, like gives you that actual real something behind you. So I feel like there's been so many moments when that's happened, but I think that's when I kind of realized like, yeah, she's a ride or die.
Yeah, I mean, she was kind of always Phoebe, and I think like she's so, like I always call her rock solid. Like she's in my therapy sessions all the time. I'm like, this girl right here, she's rock solid. And I think, I can't really explain our friendship. She's just been there for me. Some very, like there for like moments of my life. And I think her ability to see me as who I am, like every day, like she just see me as who I am. Obviously I let her see that side of me, but she's letting me be that side of me with her. And it's very rare because, you know, to let go of your guards when you're like, you get so guarded, especially in a sport where you want to be the one. And, you know, you have someone who understands you, that does the same thing as you. And then she lets you be you, like fully. And on top of that, you've been with me, like, I mean, we like recollect the moment that you were with me, like a very low moment of my life, like crazy times. And I mean, she's my angel, like, yeah, straight up. So, I can't really explain it. It's just one of those friendship. But she's rock solid. She's at the right place, and she's letting me be me, do my little mistakes, believes in me, pushes me. She's the organized one. So the yin to my yang. So yeah.
Girl. Yeah, but I mean trying to, obviously it's always like different, and I understand trying to find, like, especially trying to find someone that understands you, especially in the sport. I think this is why, another reason we spoke about it before, like why we like to do these events, because we want to connect people that have this same energy. Like we all train, we're all bodybuilders, but we all have these feelings and, you know, these emotions that we go through. So we want to try and connect you guys as well, so you can get to know people that you've never even seen, like never even known before, and talk to a stranger, and like they might be your best friend. Like I don't know, but in those moments, that's why we do this, and that's why we wanted to expose our friendship and our thoughts and stuff like that, especially. But
kind of let go of the shame of being human, you know. It's like
and being vulnerable.
Exactly. Just like, but let it go of that shame and that guilt, because it's like, why would I come here like just being, okay, I'm going to wear like my waist trainer and just be like that. No, I'm really good like on my, you know, with my food, and like, why? Why? Because then like I want to connect with you, like, but I want you girls to see the real me, you know. And I think you want that in your friendship as well. And you have that in your relationship. I really admire your relationship with Max, obviously, but more so as who you are, because you're surrounded by so much, and you're also growing in the sport. Like you're like a little bit younger in the sport than me, but yet you're such an example as far as like how you're managing things. And I think you get a little bit from my experience, obviously, but you're also very solid with your values and your principles, and it doesn't make you change your decision. Yeah. It makes you hesitate sometimes and just like question, which is fine, because we don't know everything, but she's always like ear open to like my experience and like sharing that. And
I think that's what
we're
you
able
need to
share
do.
it together too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it's just what you need to do as well, is if like you need to understand what your friend's going through, or like whoever it is that they're going through something, and like be okay, what can you do to be better? Do you know what I mean? Like understanding where they're at in life. Sometimes it's just sitting down and just having a conversation and just being like, okay, cool, where are you right now? Like where's your mind at? Like why are you thinking about that situation like now? Do you know what I mean? And diving deeper into it. But I mean, yeah, it's always tough finding people in this sport, like, and how to
Or
connect with
anywhere,
people.
really. It's just
Yeah.
hard to find people right now, I feel like. No, but,
So
oh my
it
God, I'm
is.
sorry, but like,
Sometimes
I mean, it is.
It sometimes is, but I mean,
It
yeah,
is.
that's our. I mean, that hasn't been like a moment. I think we kind of just again like spoke online, met in person, and then just carried on speaking. That was literally it, how we met.
Yeah.
That's literally it.
Because we didn't
happened.
really have like any friends in common, like even. So
Massively.
So you guys connected through internet.
Yeah, pretty much online. Yeah, online.
did we?
Yeah.
Before the Olympia? When you came and see me in 2019? I just remember
No, that was like the first. Yeah, like the first moment we met. But we were. I think we were
We're, like-
following each other online.
what we were doing, like, babe, you look so good.
Yeah.
Oh, we were doing that?
Yeah, like
We
I feel like-
were?
I mean, it was like, you know,
Ew.
you know,
kidding.
you could like comment on people. Oh, babe, you look so nice.
We did that?
Yeah.
Yeah, we were nice back then.
We were nice back then. Now I just comment on your stuff and I just try and roast you. So I mean, yeah, that's how we met. It was like 2019. I think that was the time.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But it's very genuine, you know, like, you know, what you see is what you get. Yeah.
I think friendship shouldn't be who's better. It should be just about how we can be better together. How can I help you in this moment? And like, I can still gain from it, but I can also still help you. Do you know what I mean? I can still be growing myself without dragging you down. I never think like that. Ever.
Phoebe, I really don't know where you are in your period. Like, I want to know, because like she's glowing today. Like, I'm like, track your period. I
She said that she-
what? I don't know what's your phase, what phase you're in right now, but like what she's saying, like how she's glowing, the hair. I'm like, wow, you're
You
beautiful.
were like, you're in your phase of something, and I was like,
Like the good phase. I don't know.
Be.
What is the good phase after?
I have no fucking
You girls
clue.
know? I don't know.
I don't know.
Okay.
But yeah, that was a good question. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Okay, another question.
On the other side, piggybacking off that, like,
Yeah.
how do you navigate, like, taking back to when you guys were a little younger,
Mm-hmm.
and, like, you're not as self-developed in, like, your values,
Mm-hmm.
you're kind of shedding off friends that don't have the same values as you, so, like, you're trying to explore the world, but also trying to learn yourself, and then there's a lot of, like, fake people around and stuff like that, like, how do you navigate that, even, like, in relationships? I know, like, you guys are in great relationships, but, like, if your relationship is just not seeing your goals and supporting your goals the same level that you kind of wanted to.
Yeah.
How do you guys navigate?
Ooh. I mean, I think, yeah, it's a very good question, because I think it's not I'm a very gray zone type of gal. Like, I give people chance, like, a lot. Until, I guess, this year, because I would, like, get sometimes a little bit frustrated, and I couldn't, like, answer why. And then I'm like, I get frustrated when values are not aligned. But I remember, you know, when the teacher, like very, like, middle school, I think it's middle school you guys call it, they ask you to write down your values. It was so hard for me to come up with, like, 5 top values. And I was like, respect was my first one, then love was my second one, and then I was like, I don't know, like, generosity, like, empathy. And then I'm assessing my life, and I'm like, I'm not, like, staying true to that. I've been over and, like, backwards for people that did not respect me at all, that used the shit out of me. But that's on them, though. And then once I realized that I still have stayed true because it was inside of me, and I've, like, reinforced that, then things started just going away from me. So I think it's a sit down to have with you, and knowing what you need. And if you need something from someone else, like you're talking about supporting your goals, for example, be very specific of what you're expecting from other people of kind of support. Because someone could come along and tell me, why is that person not holding your bags for you? Why is that person not doing this for you? Like, I remember my parents were like, oh, why is your partner is not doing that for you? Because this is not my relationship, and I don't want that copy paste on me. I want to hold my bags because it make me feel XYZ. So be very particular. And it's hard because there's TikTok that is telling you, like, your boyfriend, if he wanted, he would this, and then this friend is telling you this, and then you let people come in, and it's not your life anymore. and then you're lost and you don't even freaking understand what's going on, and then you start people pleasing and you start saying yes all the time, and saying no feels like shit when it really shouldn't, because if you actually establish boundaries, people that are there for you and really for you are gonna stay. I say no to her all the time. I switch time like all the time. She tells me no all the time because she lets me do that. And if anything, like, she's gonna be able to come at me and saying like, I think that was not okay, or this, I mean, it didn't happen, blessed, but like we're letting that happen. And I think it's hard, especially if you've been people pleasing for 10 years, you know? And then you need to realize that people around you, like, they don't want the best for you. And they've been hiding it for very well for a very long time. And now you need to cut the ties, and they're not happy with that. And they tell you you've changed, and then you kind of are like, you're like, wait, am I changing? And you're like, no, I'm just sticking to what I believe in, which is respect. I don't get close to people that cheat. If you cheat in a relationship, I'm not even going to your gym, bro. Like, I'm not even stepping inside your establishment. I'm not. And I'm more and more firm on those things because, like, we don't share the same values. Like, there's just nothing that's gonna come out of this relationship unless it's like, it's clear. You wanna use me? Okay, this is my fee now. And it needs to be cutthroat with that, but it took me a long time. I would say yes to everything. And like, yes with like craving. Like, I would get, okay, you wanna get here? It would be yes immediately. And then my partner, who's like, wait, like, can you know, it's okay for you to say, let me just run with my schedule with my partner and see if it matches our schedule. But I was like, no, it's like, it's me, it's my business, it's this and that. But if I want a relationship, which I was telling him, I want a relationship, I want communication, I want deepness, I want vulnerability, but then I'm acting like an independent boss bitch. Well, you know, you can't have both. You need to embody that like nonstop, and it's work. It's work, girl. I see you like breathing because, I mean, because it's hard. It's constant work, and it's like reflection. And sometimes like the Aldo keeps me in check a lot. And like, I'm a kind human being. Like, I'm good. And I was like, why don't you just love me? And it's like, but you're asking me all these things of like partnership and vulnerability and opening and being close together, but yet you're so firm on like, and it's because I've been so hurt, and I don't want to let that out of my control. And it's like, this is my career and all this stuff, but we can be so much more together. And you got to let your guards down. Same thing with her. She does so many great things for the podcast that I'm letting her like do her thing, and we come together, and that's just harmony. So yeah, that was I didn't even know
I
the
would
question.
not add to that at all, because that was literally perfect. So I was like, yeah, that was a good, like, you have to align with, like, you have to express and communicate what your values are, know what they are, like,
But
before anyone.
actions too. Like,
Yeah.
it runs, because here's my biggest aha moment, okay?
She keeps coming back because she remembers. She's like,
Sorry, I cut you off, by the
No,
way.
you're
Sorry. My big aha moment was when I realized my intentions were good, but they're not saving me if you're not acting upon them. And I'm for real for that, okay? And Aldo always uses this like crazy example. His poor ears are gonna buzz, but he says, if you're drunk driving, okay? You're drunk driving, your intentions are to bring your friend back home because she has work tomorrow, and you have the best intention to bring her back home because, so you're like, okay, I'm gonna take the wheel, but you hit someone. You're a drunk driver that hit someone. That's the outcome. You think that their family are gonna care that you have the best intention in the world? Absolutely not. So you need to have, yes, the best intentions are gonna carry on, but if you don't act upon them consistently, without eyes looking on you, without pressure, like all the time, like saying hi to the cashier all the time, even though you have a bad day, well, then you're not the person that you claim to be. So you need to do those things consistently in order to be the person. And in order to be, you need to just do. So if I say I'm a hard worker, it's not because I say it, it's because I fucking do it every day. And then people can look at me and she's like, wow, she's working hard. Just because of what I do every day. And that's who I end up being.
Preach. That's all I can add to that is just preach. Like, I'm literally like, yeah, that's exactly what I would tell you, if I'm honest, because there's nothing to add to that. Because you need to make sure that your core values, you know what they are, you understand them, then you can communicate them to either your best friends, your relationship, whatever. Like there's been times, obviously, I've done that where I've been like, I want this from Max, I want this from this, but I haven't acted like that. I've been like, I want to, exactly when I resonated with that, because I was like, I want him to help me do this, but I'm acting like a boss ass bitch. I can do this myself. I'm an independent woman. And again, if I want him to help, communicate that. Do you know what I mean? Like, understand, like, say, okay, I want you to help me do this. I want you to help me do this, because this will really, like, you know, help me get to XYZ. But if you're not acting upon that or showing that, and you're just thinking it, they can't read your minds. Like, your best friends, your relationship, no one can read your mind. You need to, like, actively say, this is what I want to do, this is what I feel, and then go from there. So yeah, what you said, I was like, yeah, preach it, girl. And even I resonated a lot with that.
Yeah, I mean, it's not easy, it's hard.
It is hard.
It's hard, yeah.
So, very good question though.
Yeah.
But yeah, right, another question. Oh, someone in the back. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm still young and I am just about to start like my bodybuilding journey, and I wanted to ask you guys, like, if you could rewind, go all the way back, what do you guys wish you knew right before you started your bodybuilding journey?
What would I do before I started my bodybuilding journey? I mean, there's so many times where people will be like, because my bodybuilding journey, I think is very different to yours. It took me a while to get that pro card, to get the invite for the Olympia. It took me 3 years to get my pro card, and then 4 years to get the Olympia invite as a pro. And I think within that experience, generally, like, made me the athlete I am. So I wouldn't, and people always say, like, would you rewind and, like, make it happen sooner? Like, would you, like, want to try and get your pro card sooner, or try and, like, get the Olympia invite sooner? No, because, like, all of those, like, I was so close, made me, like, push even harder, and made me realize a lot of things. Like, if you really want something, you have to go out and work for it. Like, because there's other people out there as well doing the exact same thing. You're not special because you're working hard. Do you know what I mean? You have to, like, consistently work hard and consistently keep going for the things that you want. So, like, for when they say, would you rewind and, like, change anything? I wouldn't change anything. Would I rewind and do anything differently? I don't think so.
Would you tell yourself something though? Like, that's, you know, something you wish you knew when you first started?
I don't know. Wish I'd known. I don't know. What's yours?
I think green is not my color.
Bikini, sir. Green is not your color, girl. Well, I wore hot pink once. But not the nice hot pink that, like, other people have been wearing. A horrible hot pink.
Yeah, you had some questionable. What else did you do with your hair back then? You had some like bleaching.
I straighten it.
It's okay.
No.
Yeah. That's
no,
it.
I wouldn't straighten my hair again. I think. Okay, so this has just popped into my house, so I'm just gonna say it. But, like, when I was definitely trying to fit a mold when I first came into competing, and I know competing isn't as evolved as what it is now, so there's a lot more, you know, different ethnicities, there's a lot different, like, skin tones, hair color. I think I was definitely trying to fit something that I wasn't and represent that and be like, I have to look like this, so I'm gonna try and do that. As soon as I let go of that, that's when I literally got my Olympia qualification. I wore my hair curly. I was like, I wanna wear this color. I wanna look like this on stage. Obviously, you know, sticking to the criteria and stuff, but I wanna be me on stage. I wanna present myself on stage. And I got my invite. So for me, it was like, yeah, I put in all the work, but for ages, I was trying to be someone I wasn't on stage to fit something. Obviously, yes, we've got credentials that we have to hit muscle-wise, conditioning-wise, appearance-wise and stuff, but you still need to be you up there. And I know that sounds really deep because it's just bodybuilding, but also you're still presenting yourself up there. So I feel like, for me...
I think that's what you should tell yourself when you're younger self. Be you.
Yeah.
Like, what more powerful than that, then just be you. It's your journey, your process. It's your cardio. It's your shoes. It's your body.
Yeah.
Your body is a beautiful machine. I think that's what I would tell myself. Stay functional, like meaning get as much function as your body. Like, you know, keep your hormones in check as much as you can. Like, stay healthy from the inside, and don't focus just on the outside. Don't get lost, you know. Like, we're talking about getting lost. Like, don't get lost.
Yeah, don't get. We're like so contradicting, but this is in bodybuilding terms.
But yeah, I think that's really a good things that you could say to yourself, like be you, but then really like be you, like understand what's going on from the inside out in order to showcase that, because everything comes from the inside, I swear to God. And I'm talking about obviously hormones and blood work and all the good stuff, but I'm also talking spirituality and like your beliefs and your values, because that's what's going to carry on to a longest time. Sometimes it's hard for me to explain, like, why bodybuilding? Why am I still competing? It's inside me. I don't know how to explain to you. It's just like a little fire that it can't go away. It's never going to go away. I don't think so. Even if I have off season, I still want to win the Arnold. I still want to win the Olympia. Like, it comes back to these things. But if I had something to tell myself, I would probably tell her, like, to not worry so much. I was such a worrier, girl. Worried about this, about that person, the future, the color, like, and you start trying to macromanage everything, and it's just do. Step on that treadmill. Like, you're tired, you're exhausted, I know, but just do it and make it go through. Just stay one day at a time. Yeah,
that's a good question. I like that a lot. Okay, cool. Like, next one.
And good luck on your journey, by the way.
Good luck.
I mean, I know you're training at Bev, so like you're in a really good environment. I think that's really part of your journey. You'll see, depending on how you are as a person, but if the environment around you is good, which I know it is, I can't wait to go back there, by the way. If you guys don't know, we're talking about Best Gym in New York with Steve
I've never been
Weinberger.
still. I need to go.
What? You guys are so wrong. I don't either. I'm like, you guys.
I need to go.
This is so wrong. Yes, you need to go.
I need
Absolutely.
to go. It looks really good.
So good environment. You're in a good spot. So just good environment, but you. Like, stay in your little bubble. Headphones are really good at that gym. Just wear your headphones and go in, do the work, and leave.
Yeah. Okay, next question. Anyone got it? Yeah, you go.
So, as two very well-known bodybuilders, I know you guys surely get praise all the time, but you're both very humble about it. So I'm just wondering how you stay humble.
Ooh. Stay humble. How do you stay humble, girl?
I stay humble. I've seen my two younger brothers 2 days ago, and I'm like, that's why. Because these two young men now, are so incredibly mature, and so incredibly caring and loving. And I say that, and I also have Jackson here that's helping us with the camera, and that he came into my life at a very like weird moment. And I have obviously Phoebe as a friend, and all the people around me keeps me grounded, because they revolve around me because of who I am at my core, and it just, people around you represent you. And like I said, I don't think I'm special. I just do. And I end up being able to share what I do, which all I do on Instagram is document what I do. That's all it is. Like, there's nothing fake, there's nothing overproduced. Like, I stay away from it as much as I can, and not feeling ashamed of making mistakes, who I am. And that's pretty much what it is. Like, we're humans. I think there's so much people, like, I could go in the room right now and there's 30 girls that are 10 times more qualified than me to do what I do, I'm sure. But it ended up, being me. And the girls are all so special. Like, literally, I'm not even joking. And my brothers, every time I see them, I'm like, you guys should be on Instagram. You guys are twins. You have so much to say. Like they're so emotionally mature. They're both in finance. They have like cats. They have like everything like so Instagrammable. I'm like, you guys need to share this. And it's like they're not. And I'm like, this is so freaking cool. And I think that humbles me every time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think family for me definitely, like my dad humbles me in terms of like reminding me, it's just reminding me of who I am, like you said,
Your
who
roots,
you are,
yeah.
who you are as like at the core. Like reminding yourself like why you got into things like this. Like why did I get into bodybuilding? Like why did I want to, you know, document my journey on Instagram or YouTube or whatever? Like what was the meaning behind that? And I think sometimes my meaning has like always been like, I just want to share stuff with the world, and I want to like help people wherever I can. So for me, it's not like I want to win this show and this is this. Like it is, but that's not always like the soul of what it's been. I don't know, for me anyway. And I feel like, yeah, family is one of the main things that just keeps me grounded. Or even like younger friends sometimes. Like younger friends, when they tell you about like your like stories like back in the day and stuff like that, it just humbles me because I'm like you said, I'm not special. I'm just a human at the end of the day. And I think, I don't know, it's a different way of thinking. I don't know how to answer that fully. But
because it goes very deep. Like now I'm getting into like, you know, Kobe Bryant are like the greatest of all time, like, you know, basketball players or whatever. They weren't humbled in public because they were humbled all the time in practice and like behind closed doors. So when there's nobody looking at me, I put the work like 10 times as hard so I'm not humbled in front of everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like this is my own work. I'm humbled every day. I would have been humbled today at the glute camps. Swear to God. Swear to God, I would have been humbled big time. But, you know, it's just about putting in the work, and I'm humbled every day. I don't know everything.
Yeah.
Everyone should be humbled every day. If you don't get humbled at least every day, once, you need to get out of your backyard, I swear. I swear.
That's actually, yeah, that's a good point. Like, it's not actually a bad thing to be like humbled or not know everything or not have all the knowledge. Like, be open to wanting to learn, to want to do more, to want to be more, for sure. Yeah. So, yeah, I like that. I like that question. Thank you for that. Next question. Oh, you go.
So, a quick question that I have is, so I'm starting my first prep after recovering from my period after 4 years.
Oh.
So I did my first comp a couple of years ago, and it was my first prep. And it was a completely incorrect strategy, just like a very just like young mentality, just not knowing how to do it properly. So do you guys have any advice in terms of like hormonal stuff and just making sure that you get on stage in the most, like with the most healthy approach, positive mindset? Because I feel like even now it's tough getting that advice from people who aren't in bodybuilding.
Yeah. What would you do that?
I mean, as I've started doing blood work. That's the first step towards that, getting help from expert and professionals and knowing what's happening with your body. Now, all three of the doctors, I'm going to talk to a fourth one to actually like try to have a different answer, told me not to compete at the Arnold, actually. And obviously I'm like, well, that's not possible. So like, let's make it happen. But honestly, if you're not all Gucci, you don't go in prep having your body fight you. Like, your body's already gonna fight you because you're going into extreme modes. Like, don't make it so hard on yourself. Like, have your body's your machine. Make sure it's all checked before you go into a prep, because I promise you, prep should be such a happy endeavor. Like, I didn't start suffering in prep until I started going on social media and seeing that girls ate tilapia. And I was like, I want to eat tilapia too, because I want to suffer, and I just want to eat tilapia and water and asparagus.
Why?
And I want to suffer. But before I did a prep, I was eating rigatoni like every other day, for real. And I still was able to like build my metabolism to that point, because I was, you know, doing jiu-jitsu and like soccer. So my metabolism was on fire. I just kept it like that. I would say if you have dairy product and you function well with it, don't cut it off. Why? Just to be like a meathead bodybuilder? Like, no, make your own rules, do what works for you, and that's what I would say as far as you need to like find.
Yeah, I think for me, definitely just making sure that you go to an expert, like you said before, like obviously like getting blood work done, making sure that everything is good before you go into a prep. If it's not, okay, cool, we delay prep. It's not a bad thing to delay if you need to at the point given, or like, okay, cool, we're gonna do this instead. Like, especially going back into your prep and stuff, like after obviously you've just gone through that, I think definitely prioritizing that is a good thing. And making sure you understand, like have people around you that you want to listen to, and you're like, okay, yeah, like I trust them. Because I think that's another thing, is always finding the right person to trust, because you're scared about like being misled, right? So I think now it's okay, right, let's find the right person. Okay, I feel happy with their knowledge, I'm trusting them now. They know what they're doing, and I trust them with that, if that makes sense. But yeah, for me, it's definitely like making sure you get blood work done, going through like each panel, making sure that it's in a good spot, like making sure you also feel ready as well, because your blood work could say, yeah, you're fine, but you might be exhausted and still tired, and cardio shit, and like training still suffers. Like, if that still is externally not in a good spot, wait if you need to. Make sure you're in a good spot mentally. Like little things like that, obviously, yeah, hormonally, but then making sure you are ready to prep is also a big thing, for sure. Because sometimes it's hard, like then just being like, oh, I have to prep because like I've picked the show, I need to do this, and then that's it. So I think definitely just making sure you yourself is ready to go through it is important as well.
Yeah. Sure. And if you start and at 6 weeks out, it's not for you anymore, then just stop.
Yeah.
Period.
Literally me, like last year at the Arnold, and how many calls I was like, I can't do this. You were like, you need to do this for you. You can't carry on this prep if you don't want to, and you feel like it's going to break you. Don't do it. And I didn't, and I'm glad I didn't, because it made me be able to then bring my best to the Olympia in 2022 and continue on after that. So I think sometimes those hard decisions, they're hard, but delaying them is going to be worth it in the end, for sure.
I mean, it's definitely an ability.
Yeah.
It's courageous and brave, and you have that ability now. It's to like do what's best for you, and I think that's very powerful.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you for the question. Oh, Ruth at the back.
Okay, so
I just want to say we have a legend in the house right here. Ruth Woods. Don't be shy. You are a freaking legend. She's an IFBB pro. I look up to her. I was showing you to Aldo yesterday in your red suit. I was like, her swag was like freaking amazing. So thank you for being with us. But yeah, what's up?
Okay, so what's your advice for someone who wants to make a comeback in the sport?
Oh my God, here we go.
Is
Girl,
this the announcement?
Babe, if you're coming back, I'm leaving. Tell me when.
I mean, there's been so many comebacks. Like the last couple, like Angelica's coming back this year. Like I genuinely think, fucking own it. Just own it, and just be open to being like, okay, like I'm gonna go in there, do my thing, be open to change. Because obviously, when was the last time you competed?
I was about to say.
My last show was the Arnold in 2018.
So a long time ago. Being open to change of like, obviously the sports have changed a lot since then, like 100%. Don't be afraid to be like, okay, I've got to work now because the sport's different. That's absolutely fine. But I'm going to fucking own it still, regardless. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think don't be afraid of it. I loved the fact that when Angelica like announced her like comeback this year, she was like, yeah, I want to come back and like still be the top. Like she's had 2 kids. She's been off for 3 years. 4 years?
No, 4, yeah.
4 years. Mm-hmm. And she's still owning it. And like, she looks phenomenal. And that's going to take through your prep. I think if you then be like, oh, like, I don't know if I'm like good enough or this, like, you might step on stage and you need improvements still. That's just bodybuilding in general. Don't be afraid of that, for sure. I think that's my advice, for sure. Just own the shit out of it. Like, fucking own it. For sure.
Yeah, take the leap. But just tell me, please. Ring me up.
Yeah, tell me what show you're doing first.
What show you're showing up. So we
can support. But yeah.
No, but I mean, and Ruth, anything you need, I'm here to help. But no, we have a good time right now, especially with the comebacks. I think. My dream is to have everyone come back at some point and just have like the OG mingle, like with like now they have like families and babies. I'm like, this is so cool. I want everyone in the same lineup. That would be like my best day ever. So no, I would just say do it. I think it's so interesting because now you listen to Angelica's like, podcasts, and she's like, I'm doing this like for my kids, to making sure that they don't look at mommy and be like, have you stopped this for us because of us? And that's her reason now. She has other reason in the past, and maybe every year she had different reason. And you never know someone's reason why they're doing what they're doing, but we're kind of all in this together. And I think that's what makes bodybuilding so beautiful. It's just, doesn't matter what language you speak, doesn't matter what color you are, how old you are even, like, it's just you, all of us together, going through the same passion of bodybuilding. So I think that's what makes it beautiful.
Yeah. So yeah, I think definitely don't be afraid. Just own it. Own the shit out of it.
Oh, she
And,
will.
like, yeah, I'm excited to see it. If I'm honest, I'm so excited. So yeah, own it. Just fucking own it.
Yeah.
For sure. Good. Exciting though. That's a very exciting announcement.
That's exciting, Ruth. Dropping that bomb on us.
Yeah, I know. I love that. Okay, next question. Ashley.
I have a question for you, ladies. So I'm going to be 40 this year, and when I look back over my life, I see that I've had to reinvent myself multiple times. Sometimes not by choice, sometimes just circumstance forced me, whether it was in my career, whether it was, in terms of competing. So if fitness was gone tomorrow, it just ceased to exist, what would your reinvention be? Would you be a housewife? Would you go to law school? Like, what would that look like for you guys?
That's such a good question, because I was talking with Phoebe yesterday, actually, because I was like, are we getting a topic for this, podcast? Because I want to like search your brain on things. And I was like, have you thought about what you're doing in the present moment to preserve your identity? Like, are you doing actively things every day that preserve your identity, and what does it look like? And I mean, we're both, like, I want to say, not like actively like religious people, so I think that does help like someone to like cultivate like, a certain religion and as part of like their identity, but we don't have that. So I mean, what would you do if fitness was out tomorrow and then you would clean slate?
So you had to completely reinvent yourself?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a very hard question. And the fact that you've also had to go through that, because like you said, you went through that because you had to sometimes be forced, so you had to change your life. And sometimes you've made the decision to choose things. I think if fitness was completely out of my life, I wouldn't say I would be completely lost, because I'm happy still with the person I am, if that makes sense. But bro, I don't know what I'd do.
I mean, because when I'm saying like, are you doing actively things that preserve your identity as a person? Like, because you're Phoebe, you're doing a lot of things, right? Like, you're posing, and then posing portal, and then you do your bodybuilding, which takes like pretty much 8 hours, 14 hours a day sometimes, and then you sleep, and then you sleep, repeat. I think I would probably go into food. I would like probably
be a chef.
Yeah, I would probably be a chef, to be honest. I would like travel so much. I would be a chef. I would probably not even like try to make money. I'll try like probably do acai bowl by the street and just like give acai bowl to people and just like live off like $4 and see how much like that money can like bring me in certain places. Getting uncomfortable a lot, I would probably do that. And then, I do want to have a family. I do want to have kids.
But reinventing, that's a very, like, has there been a moment in time where you've had to reinvent yourself?
A lot. No, it's not true. No. No, because I mean, reinventing myself completely? No.
Like, identity wise, like, have you had to start over?
No. I mean, I could say yes, but not really. Like, at the end of the day, like, I had a lot of pillars in my life, which one was bodybuilding. That's why it's also so important to me, because it keeps me, it's my passion. Like, it's a pillar in my life. It's really solid. I have my family. I did have to like reinvent myself as far as like being a good sister, being a good like daughter, and like calling my mom like not more than like once a month, but like reinventing myself completely. I mean, I've done some sacrifices, but I don't think that's reinventing myself completely. Like doing sacrifices of like cutting alcohol, like friendship, like, but reinventing myself completely. No, I think we're never going to be reinventing ourselves like completely. I know like what you probably have gone through and like needed those changes were necessary, but it's probably just outside things like relationship that you're referring to, like environment, and you were probably in a toxic relationship, you changed. Like I don't know what happened in those decisions that you felt like you reinvented yourself, but everything that has been part of your life is you. And I don't think nothing is worth to like leave that out the door unless it's like harming you. That's another topic. But I had to make some decision. But reinventing myself, no, I think I've always been with great values in me.
I mean,
Yeah.
if fitness was completely out, I say that with the best intentions of like, I don't know what I would do because it's always been in my life. Do you know what I mean? So like saying like, okay, just completely get rid of fitness, not even bodybuilding, just fitness in general. Like I was a cheerleader when I was really young. I did gymnastics. It's always been a staple in my life, and that's who it's created me to be. So like, for me, it's not my identity, but it's helped me become the person I am. So like, I wouldn't say it's like I said, it was not my identity, but it's helped me along the way of my life, you know?
It's almost like crazy to think that the world is actually open to us. Like, let's say fitness leaves tomorrow, right? Like, that frees up literally, 18 hours of our day. Now you have 18 hours of doing exactly whatever you want.
Yeah.
That's scary.
Yeah.
It's a good scary, though.
Yeah, it's a good scare because it opens you up to different opportunities in life.
Just trying different stuff, yeah.
Yeah, but then also, is it okay to want to do... I just want to be about fitness, or I want to be about one thing.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah,
but no, like, we're saying, like, drastically, like, fitness is no more.
Yeah. I think I would still keep all my core values that I have.
Oh my God, for sure.
100%.
For sure. But then I'm not sure if I would, like, work in business. Like, would I would, like, help with business, like consulting? Would I just... I don't know. There's so much to do. There's so much that we don't know because we only have 18 hours, like for 24 hours a day, but literally like little less because we're sleeping.
Yeah.
But to
do
discover
whatever.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's a really good
That's
question.
a very tough question, but I like that question a lot. We kind of went into drifts and drabs of that, but I like that a lot. I think reinventing yourself is always hard, but I think it's always, again, the stuff that you've gone through, like we just were discussing before, is like, it's who it's built you up to be. And it's always hard to accept it in those moments, those really tough, low moments where you're like, how is this benefiting me at any point right now? But when you're past it, you'll see the reason, how you got past it and what you got past it. If that makes sense. I hope that answers something. So.
I mean, you guys are young. It's definitely a question to think about. And you always take the values and the things that you learn in that one career or in that one phase of your life into the next phase, and they're building blocks. You build and keep building.
100%.
And you keep becoming whole. So at some point you might have to.
Yeah.
And so it's just something to think about.
Yeah. No, I love that. Thank you for that. I'm definitely going to be thinking about it when I go to bed. Like, what am I going to do without fitness? I'm definitely.
No, but it's just, I think, like I said, it's just about what do you do on a daily basis to preserve yourself. And it's like, preserve your identity. It could be little things, but at least you always stay in track of who you are and not just like navigating through like meals or like navigating through workouts and be a straight up robot and meathead. I think for us, Ashley, like when I'm taking off, I can say that I'm reinventing myself then because I'm forcefully taking step away from the food scale and I'm like getting into the more intuitive eating. So I'm like reinventing myself constantly and then going into prep and reinventing myself again because it's like starting over again because like now I have a new diet. I need to establish like my macros and like all these things. It's like constant reinvent to like disinvent. Like it's just going back and forth like that. But at the end of the day, like preserving who I am, and if I'm a family person, like digging deep into those relationships and like investing into those relationships. But I mean, you got to be ready for whatever is gonna happen because the
anything
world
can
is
happen.
crazy right now.
Anything can
The
happen
world is
in life.
crazy right now.
That's the thing. That's the beauty of it. Anything can happen. You have to be ready for like whatever does happen. So yeah, that's a good. I like that because I can definitely think about that a lot, for sure.
Lorelai's going to culinary school. Right?
Yeah, you're going to become a chef, and that'll be it. So really good question. Thank you for that. Any more questions? Ooh, are we out of questions? What time is it actually?
I'm hungry.
Next one.
Meal 2. You have.
Yeah,
Jackson has a question.
Go on, Jackson.
It's gonna be good.
Phoebe, it's a
Oh,
two-part question. The first one is specifically for you.
oh God.
If you're comfortable sharing, what do you love most about your mom? And then for each of you, what do you love most about yourself?
About yourself. So specifically for me, what I loved about like my mum was like my dad always says, he likes to remind me, which is again something that I like to remember when I'm going on like high times or like tough times or whatever. He's like, oh, you remind me of, your mum. I love her because she like her determination and like the little things that she would do, like, so she was very, very sporty person as well. So like, it's funny because like, obviously now I'm doing bodybuilding. She used to do like badminton tournaments and like fucking tennis things. Like she would do loads of stuff. And like, even though she was so like focused on those goals, she'd always come back and like focus on family and like cook the meals and like be with family like after that. So like that's something that I always do love. Like I always want to come back and appreciate like the people that are around me. That's something that she would always be very like prominent on. So like for me, I like to go back and don't get me wrong, when I'm on prep and my dad's like, hustling around the house and stuff and stuff like that. Obviously, sometimes you can get irritated with family and stuff. It happens, I get that. But I always want to try and ground myself and be like I appreciate you so much, and I appreciate you around me, and like Max and everyone around me, because even though I'm still doing all this shit around me, I have my people that are sticking by me, So yeah, that's one thing like, well, I love about her. So, and then love about yourself, I mean, I don't know.
About you.
About me?
Yes.
Did you say about me? About yourself. What thing do you love about you? What do you love about yourself?
I mean, Jackson, thank you for asking that question because I don't know, like, I think it's such a great way to talk about your mom, and I always like know that, behind.
Yeah.
So I never know how to like target that, even though like we had such a like good friendship. So I think it's such a great way to like finish and wrap up the podcast because I think, I don't know, there's nothing like family.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's special. But I do see with what you're saying about your mom, that her ability to like wear different hats, and like you're very skilled at that. So I think what you should love about yourself, Phoebe, is your ability to wear different hats and wearing them so well. It's like every hat fits you. Best friend, it fits you so well. Athletes, it fits you so well. Like, but you make things fit because you're hustling, grinding on your own terms, and that's why I think you should love about yourself. It's your ability to do that, and that's a skill in itself. Because someone can just be one thing and really good at one thing, but then suck at other things. But you're able to like, sometimes pour in a little bit too many cups. Like we talk about that. Pour into too many cups.
You love a cup analogy all the time, every single time.
Pour into a little bit too many cups, but in some ways, like you're still able to like make it just right for every cup. And I think that's a beautiful thing about you. And dude, I think we should wrap up on that.
What about you love about yourself though? Come on.
I think you should answer Lauralie now that she has
What I should love about myself.
What you should love about yourself.
answer that.
What you should love about yourself is you should see your worth so much more for what it actually is. Because I think sometimes you will 100% be like you've said obviously this whole time, which I 100% get. Oh, I'm nothing special. I'm nothing special. You fucking are. Do you know what I mean? Like you are. And I think you need to see that sometimes. Don't get me wrong, you don't need to like walk around and be like, yeah, I'm the fucking shit all the time. You can sometimes, but like you're so humble because of that reason, but then you also don't see the value in yourself, and you need to 100% know your own ability, all that. Like, because you've created, all these, like when I'm listening to you now, like talking, I remember our first podcast and stuff like that, and we were like stumbling, and we always say like, oh, we want to be like this people when we like do our podcasts and stuff like that. I'm listening, I'm seeing that now, but I know you won't see that. Like I know when you listen back to this, you probably won't see it because you're like, oh, I want to be like, I want us to be able to talk and like talk better and my English be better and this, but you're giving so much value, and I'm even sit here stunned, but I know you won't see that, and I want you to see that, you know? So I think that's what you need to see, is the value in yourself just a little bit more, because everyone else sees it, for sure.
Okay.
You know? Okay.
I love you.
So that was a good one to end on, Jackson. I like that. I mean, if there's obviously any more questions, what we'll do is like, again, we'll do like a Q&A like on our Instagram or something like that. And especially again with the Patreon, we'll be able to answer questions and stuff. And then we can definitely dive into them so much more, which I'm really excited to do. So yeah,
yes,
it was a good. That was a good emotional one. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you for everyone. Yeah, what's up? We have a special guest with us. I mean, a lot of special guests. You all special, but here? We have Christina. Christina, stand up, please.
Where is she?
Birthday. What? That's Christina's birthday. Christina is now 17 years old. She was 16.
I know.
And she. Woo! Happy birthday, babe.
I want to say happy birthday. And I think do we have a cake? Do they have something behind there?
Yeah, hopefully, yes.
Do they have it?
Hopefully, yes. Everybody is probably not aligned. So, Christina is actually my little secret weapon. So, if anyone watched the Olympia last year, she's my little ballroom dancer.
Woo!
So, she helped me create my opening, and that was a huge aha for me this year because I would never let anyone touch my posing ever. And I was like, I have this client, she's a beast, she's 16 years old and she does the ballroom dancing. I was like, and then she spent hours with her mom, Petra, that's here. She brought her for her birthday, but two amazing human beings, and she's celebrating her birthday with us. So I hope you had an amazing time, and I hope you get spoiled. Your mom loves you, and I obviously do love you as well. And just come back. You have a home here, and happy birthday. So we can sing happy birthday. I'm not singing, but she can
sing. Happy birthday to you. Turn around.
Oh, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Christina.
Is it cakes? Oh no!
Happy birthday to you.
Slice, we're gonna cut it at the end if you're not in prep.
Yes, but eat the cake.
Yeah, please eat the cake because we don't want it left. But
please.
Thank you guys so much for coming.
Thank you so much.
It means a lot, and thank you for watching Same Old Podcast, and we'll see you in the next one.
See you.
Let's do some love.
I love you. I love you.
Thank you so much. Oh my God, that was good. That was a lot of fun. So thank you guys so much for that.
That's Phoebe every time we come off camera. Oh, that was good. That was so fun.
That was so good. That was so good.
fun.
I love it. So, but we're gonna do like some photos and stuff now at the front. Like obviously we can like